Hey neighbors, so we got a raised bed right here that we grew edamame, which is an edible soybean, back during the springtime. And if you don't know what edamame is, you definitely need to check it out. We thoroughly enjoyed it. And we grew a great crop just on this 4x8 bed right here. But we grew edamame here. The edamame is gone. You can see we pulled up those vines right there. Here we are. 1st of August. Now we know we want to plant brassicas in here the 1st of October. That's a good time for us to plant our broccolis, our cauliflowers, our cabbage, things like that. But what do we do with this bed in the meantime? Well, certainly I don't want it to sit here like this right here. We want to transition or flip this bed and use it for a crop between now and October. We got a good 60 to 90 days that we can utilize this bed right here and bring us some beauty, some flowers to feed our pollinators. These things we can put in these raised beds late summer to fill that slot to get us by till October. Well, this is a bed that's done extremely well for us. I really like the layering effect we got with this toothache plant and then the zinnias up here, the way we got them blooming down at the bottom. We got those nice yellow blooms from the toothache plant and the zinnias. I'm going to do something similar to this with our bed. I'm only going to plant zinnias. I'm not planting no more of the toothache plant because we got plenty of that. But I'm going to plant zinnias in our raised bed today. I'm going to flip it or transition that bed from a stale bed into a beautiful bed using these zinnias. So the varieties I'm going to use in this new raised bed today is going to be our Binary Giant Scarlet Zinnia. See that deep red color there? I like that. Transition against these other two colors that we're going to use, which is the Lemon Peach Queenie Zinnia. It's a new one we just started carrying last year. I got some of these in this raised bed here, and I really like the way they color up there. So that scarlet color against that is going to be wonderful. And then we're going to put some lime orange Queenie Zinnias in there as well. So we're going to take these 3 different colors, kind of mix them up within our raised bed to get some good contrasting colors. Now these are not dwarf zinnias, but they work really good in raised beds because they don't get crazy tall. They have these long stems on here and they work really good for cut flowers, so they're just about the right size for a raised bed. So we love using drip irrigation. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my drip irrigation, just kind of move it out of the way. Got some old staples there that I can reuse. The good thing about this tubing is it's pretty pliable, so we can just move it out of the way. Now, on this trash here, it is possible sometimes to turn it in, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to pull all this trash and debris out of this bed, and I'm going to put it in the compost pile so that I can let it work its way out, degrade, and then I can use it later. And every time that I recharge a bed or flip a bed, I like to add some good compost. Maybe not a lot, but I always like to add some good fresh compost back into my beds. The key there is good quality compost. This right here we get from a local cotton gin that does a great job composting called Lennox Gin. They sell it in bulk and bags, so we're able to get that. So check around, talk around to your garden clubs or whoever you can to find out if there's a good local supplier of good quality compost close by. And then I like to take some good organic fertilizer and put into my beds there and work in as I work into my compost. Now let's talk about organic fertilizers for a minute, because I think there's some that's better suited for vegetables than they are for maybe ornamentals. This right here is our complete organic, which is a pelletized aged chicken manure. This right here works good because it's readily available to the plant. Now, a lot of your organic fertilizers you may buy, if you look at the ingredients down there, they've got feather meal and bone meal in them, which are good organic fertilizers. The problem with them is they take a long time for the microbes to break them down to be available for the plant. I think they're well suited for perennials and for ornamentals. I do not think they're well suited for vegetables because of that length of time it takes them to break down. So even though you think you may be doing the right thing by using an organic fertilizer, if you're not using the right one for the crop you go in, you could be doing yourself more harm than good. And I just sprinkle in there. The good thing about organic fertilizer, it's really hard to burn with them because they generally have low analysis of fertility in them, so they're safer to use as far as over applying. Now I just kind of sprinkle it in there just about like that. Now any manure will work. If you got horse manure, if you got cow manure, rabbit manure, any of those will work fine. If you're using a fresh chicken litter, you want to put it in there, work it in at least 2 weeks ahead of time, because that fresh chicken litter is a lot hotter and we can have some harmful bacteria in there. But if you're using any kind of aged manure, you can put it in there at planting. I prefer to do it at planting or a week or 2 weeks before. And then I like to take my little digging fork there and just kind of work that compost and that organic fertilizer in a little bit. Loosens up that soil, works everything in, and we're going to rake it back out level after we get it turned. And now it's time to put our drip irrigation back, and we're going to put it back just where it was at. Use these little pins right here to pin it down in place. Take our trowel, make us a little row there with a little indentation. Now with these zinnias, we don't want to plant them very deep, and plus we've got irrigation here as well, so we just want to plant them maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep there. Now sometimes I will grow my zinnias from transplants and transplant them in. Sometimes I'll direct seed them. In more of these controlled environments where I got irrigation, I got really good soil, direct seeding works really good because you can control everything better. I like to take the corner, cut off my seed pack like that right there, take my finger and just shake those seeds out. Then we'll just simply want to cover them up. Not too much, but just a little, make sure they're covered well. Now it's time to let that drip irrigation pay off. We just got back off of a road trip to Ohio, and while we was gone, I had this cucumber mint drink, and it was really refreshing. I'm not much on sugary drinks, but that drink was, it was pretty daggum good. It wasn't real sweet. And I got to thinking, you know, I ain't grown any mint in several years. Why don't I grow mint? And I realized that mint can be invasive. That's one of the problems with mint. If you ever get it going, it can spread everywhere, it'll take over. But I decided when I came back, I was going to plant me some mint, but I was going to do it in a container. Now the one I'm planting today is peppermint. I've got this 45-gallon root pouch that I got left over from spring that we grew potatoes in. So I'm going to recharge, I'm going to flip this container right here. I'm going to add me some compost to it, just like we did the raised bed. I'm going to add me some complete organic, and I'm going to direct seed some peppermint into this container. That way I can control it, keep it from being invasive. I can move it around if I need to. And this 45-gallon root pouch will grow plenty of mint for us to have. All right, I'm just going to stir it up good. Got my compost, my organic fertilizer in there. Now mint's just like the zinnias I talked about. You could grow these as transplants in your greenhouse and transplant them out, or you can just direct seed them. Peppermint or any of your mints are real easy to grow. They don't mind the hot summers there. They can tolerate some dry weather there. And the seeds are itsy bitsy. See if I can show you just how small these seeds are. So one pack is going to be way more than what I need, but I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them in there. I can always come back and kind of thin some out. The good rule of thumb is on these small seeds is the smaller the seed, the shallower you want to plant it. These seeds being so small, I'm actually not even going to try to cover them up. I'm just going to press them in good with my hand, press them into that soil. We're going to keep them nice and moist for a few days, and I think this will be sufficient. If we planted them too deep, we would have problems with these small seeds germinating and coming up. Now the key is just keep this lightly watered for a few days. It wouldn't hurt to do it a couple of times a day, at least one time a day. While some of our vegetables don't like the hot summertime, a lot of our herbs and a lot of our flowers absolutely love it. So don't let those beds, don't let those containers sit empty. There's plenty of things you can do. We love the butterflies, we love the pollinators, we love the beauty of these zinnias right here. Use these gaps in our summertime between our late spring planting and our fall planting for flowers and herbs.